Learning like a student.
Hi, welcome to the Nets Trades YouTube channel. My name is Israel, and today I'm going to be going over lesson number 7. And today we're going to be talking about the blueprints of becoming a millionaire trader. And these are all things that have been said by millionaire traders. So it's not just what I think is important, but it's actually what has been proven by successful 7-figure plus traders. So I think this is worth a listen to. So let's jump right into it without wasting any time. So the one thing that millionaire traders all do really well is that they know how to control their aggression. So when they're in favorable markets, they push extremely hard, and they're gonna have very big win streaks. They're gonna push their account to the limits. But once markets turn around and they're not favorable to their edge, they become extensively protective. Risk management is a top priority for all great traders, and they know how to protect themselves because I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but it's relatively easy to make money in the markets, but keeping it, that's where the hard part comes in. So they're good at both being offensive and defensive. They push extremely hard in favorable markets, and then they're extremely protective in markets that don't favor the edge. And a lot of times you'll hear from great traders that they're super selective in the trades they take. They don't take trades just because out of boredom. They take trades exclusively when it meets all their criteria. The market is in their favor. And how do you know when the market is in your favor? Well, over time, as you gain experience as a trader, you develop like an instinct to have a feeling for how the market is moving, how it's acting, whether or not breakouts are getting followed through or not. Whether or not there's a lot of volatility or not, stuff like that. They take that into account, and that allows them to know when to be aggressive and when to be protective. And something that goes hand in hand with this is the R multiple sheet I've shared with you guys in the past. If you guys haven't watched those videos, I think the video on risk management, definitely check that out. That kind of goes hand in hand with controlled aggression. So check out that video. That goes more into detail on how to systematically go on about this. But yeah, great traders are good at controlling their aggression. Second thing that's really important to successful traders is variety. And this is more when you're in your learning stage, but they've exposed themselves to several successful traders. And the great source for that nowadays is like Discords, YouTube, even paying for like a service. But there's so many great traders out there that we literally have access to a lot of it for free. And so take advantage of that, because being able to expose yourself to several successful traders allows you to take things from each of them. So again, I'm sure you've heard this before, but every trader trades in a unique way. No two traders trade exactly the same way. And that's why you can't really be successful by exclusively taking plays from somebody else. That won't take you super far in this game. You can make a decent amount of money from that. Like you can make $1,000 a day from that. But if you really want to get far in this game, you gotta fish on your own. You gotta develop your own strategy, because only by doing that will you have confidence in the plays you take. If you're taking a play just because somebody else recommended it, sure, you might get into it, but you won't go full size into it, or you won't have real conviction to hold on to that play when it starts going against you, because you don't have the confidence to be in it. Like, you don't even know exactly why you're in that play other than this person recommended it. And so you got to develop your own strategy, and the best way to do that is by exposing yourself to people that are already successful, and you take bits and pieces from each person and develop your own strategy that fits your own that fits you, basically. Like I said, everybody's different and everybody trades differently. Third thing is they build a story for each play. So professionals have a keen ability to interpret what is going on behind each candle, further than just, this stock is breaking a level, so I'm going to buy it. And a lot of this is done through level 2, time and sells, being able to read the tape, and again, that experience. These traders that have 3, 4, 5 plus years of watching charts, they develop a sense of being able to interpret what's going on. Like, um, if they see a seller, consistently on the tape, they know that there's a huge supply there and they might want to get out. Or if we're seeing a breakout and we're just seeing the order flow a specific way, they know that's a super strong move. That's not just going to last one day. And just stuff like that. And you develop that again from experience and spending time in front of the charts, spending time reviewing the tape. And a good way to do this, to develop the skill, is by recording yourself when you're making trades. Record yourself and then rewatch it. Kind of like how professional athletes rewatch a game and then go over things they could have improved and done better. That's kind of what you want to do as a trader as well. Super helpful. And just when you're trading, maybe the first 30 minutes to an hour, because that's when you're going to probably take the most trades. Just have your screen recorded and then rewatch it over the weekend or once market closes, and then you'll be able to notice certain things that happen right before you make a mistake or right before you do something that's good, and take note of those things. So get a notepad and then rewatch your trades and take note of things that you do before you make a mistake, and then take note of things that you do before you enter a trade. Like, write down the similarities that happens every time you make a winning trade. And then write down the similarities that happen every time you take a losing trade, and you'll be able to develop something. You'll be able to develop this skill. Next, and this one is extremely important, but great traders stop mistakes early. A lot of the reason why people end up blowing accounts is because they make one big mistake, and then they don't stop trading. They keep on going. They're like, oh, I want to remake what I just lost. I want to recuperate my losses. I need to make this back. And so what that leads to is they end up turning one mistake into 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes, 4 mistakes, etc. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, the mistakes, and then it becomes that much harder to get out of it. It's like, if you're in a hole, don't dig yourself deeper into that hole. And great traders are great at noticing that they've made a mistake and then reactively not just they've been there before. They've been there where they've made a mistake and let it turn into many mistakes, and they know what they should do to prevent that from happening again. They break the cycle. And this is another thing, they're extremely reactive. So if they're in a scenario where they're in big size in a trade, but they realize quickly that it's going against them, that they shouldn't be in there because of new information they just got, they're extremely reactive and they don't freeze up because they're mentally prepared for every possible scenario. So they don't just go into a trade thinking and being prepared for it going in their favor. They're prepared for it not going in their favor. They're prepared for it going sideways. They're prepared for it, any possible scenario they already know what they're gonna do if that happens, or if this happens, or if that happens. Right? So and so when the time comes, they don't freeze up and they don't allow a bad trade to turn into a terrible trade. So that's really important. Next, they're unbiased. So professionals realize that trading is a game of probability and statistics. Just because you have a lot of confidence that a play is going to work out doesn't mean that you should get tunnel vision and be biased that it has to work because you think it has to work. The market is always right. We're not right. We're not always right. And we have to live with that fact. And so when we get into a trade that we think, oh, this is a winner for sure, it's not always good to have that kind of mentality. And it's different from having confidence. We have to have confidence as traders because we have to be willing to put on risk on trades that we believe in, because the risk reward in the long term says that we should. But as soon as evidence comes out that we're wrong, we don't let our ego get in the way and prevent us from getting out of that trade for a loss. We're more than willing to get out once we realize that we're lost, because that's the smart thing to do. It would just be dumb to think just because we believe a trade is going to work out, we're not going to take the loss, even though the chart is telling us that we're wrong. We have to be willing to accept that we're wrong, because it's going to happen a lot, and that's what professionals do. Professionals only act on a thesis that is confirmed, and this is really important, will reactively exit as soon as evidence of a rejection appears. So they don't let, just because they think an idea has to work out, they're not slow to be like, okay, I'm wrong, I'll just get out. That'll happen super often, and so they're used to that. And as traders, our job is to react to what we see going on in front of us in the charts, and not just put on trades and hold them because we hope that they're going to go up, or because we think we know what's going on, because we don't. The markets don't care about us. The markets will do what they want to do, and we have to listen to that. So super important. All right, our next thing is blown up accounts. So all the great traders that I've talked to, that I've seen, almost every single one of them, I don't know a single one that I can name that hasn't gone through extreme pain and or have blown up an account, or usually several accounts. And I think this is just a necessary stage in everybody's trading career, because going through that experience allows you to realize just how important risk management is. Because you guys can watch all these videos, and a lot of the good people that are teaching stuff about stocks, they'll always mention risk management. But until you go through that pain of blowing up an account or going through a series of big losses that you just feel like, what the fuck, bro? Until you go through that, you don't really realize just how important risk management is, and you don't take it seriously. But once you go through that, that ensures you take risk management extremely seriously and put it before everything, because that's just how important it is. And yeah, so I think there's a lot of people in the chat room that have probably blown up accounts. I've blown up several accounts, and yeah, it was just a necessary part in my journey as a trader. And I'm thankful that I did that early on, because back then I wasn't really trading with a lot of money, and now I can make back what I blew up in those 7-8 accounts in one single trade. So so I'm grateful that it happened back then and early on in my career. And yeah, I think it was a necessary stage for me. So as a beginner, be ready to blow up an account and just take it as a lesson. That's the important part. If you blow up an account and allow it to discourage you or to motivate you, then you're not going to make it as a trader. But if you take it as a learning lesson and you get even more motivated from that, you're like, fuck, because I lost it, I gotta make it back now. I gotta study harder. Then those are the type of people that will make it as traders. So just a little bit on blowing up accounts. And like I said, I haven't met a single great trader that hasn't gone through this before. So don't feel too bad about it if you go through an experience like that. Final thing I want to hit on is home runs, and I'm sure you've heard of this many times, but I'm just gonna say it again because it's important. But great traders cut losses extremely fast, again, because they're reactive and they let the charts tell them what to do. They don't just go on what they think should happen, and they let winners run. If you're in a winning trade, there's no reason to sell it. I mean, you can take profits, but that's different from getting completely out of a position. If you're in a winning trade, there's no reason to sell prematurely. It's much better to sell 10% late than 100% too early. So always let your winners run, but be vigilant in cutting your losses extremely fast. And what this allows you to do is allows you to hit home runs. And having home runs allows you to just having one trade cover 5 to 20 plus losses. And that's where you really achieve profitability, because it gives you that that cushion right there. Like if one trade can cover for 5 to 20 losses, that's great, because then you don't need that high of a win percentage to make money. And so here's just a couple of my previous trades in this past month in November that have been home runs for me. One of them was on Lucid. I had 50 calls. I got in at 163, and my average take profit was at 320. Now I obviously took profits along the way, so like my final contract runners ran like 200% probably, but the average was 96% win. And this trade alone, just one trade, covers for 5.44 losses. So that's a home run in my book. And then another one that happened recently was a Neo trade. Again, the runners ran like 350%, I think. But the average I got out for was like 190%. And this trade alone just covers for 9.45 losses. So if I take this one winner, I can lose the next 9 and still make money. So think about that. And that's why letting winners run is extremely important, because I didn't know Neo was going to go 300% plus, but because I let winners run, it allowed me to take a trade that is going to be able to cover for 9.45% or 9.45 losses that I take. And that gives me more confidence, because now when I'm in a losing trade, I'll be quick to take a loss, because I know that just one trade that I've taken can cover for 9 of these losses. So one loss doesn't even matter to me anymore. And this is just 2 of them. I think I've had like 5+ of these this month alone. Like another one was an MU Lotto that I had that won like 500% plus. Now, because it was small size, it didn't cover like 20 losses, but it did like 7 losses, I think it covered. So yeah, letting winners run is extremely important. And a lot of great traders, they'll attribute their month to 1 or 2 trades. Their year will be made by just a handful of trades. So and it's not like great traders go for home runs. We don't necessarily go for home runs. We just trade setups that we know work, and by letting winners run, eventually we'll hit these home runs without even expecting them, and that will really just give us a big cushion and allow us to grow our counts exponentially faster than somebody that's just going to cut their losses when it hits 50% or when they're happy with their profits. And that's why it's important not to trade your P&L. Don't trade your P&L. Trade what the chart is telling you. And that's a lot of what this video has gone through. You'll notice that that's a similarity in almost all these things. It's just reacting to the chart and not what we think should happen. Just react to the chart and be reactive, and you'll be that much closer to being a successful trader, because these are all things that 7-figure plus traders do and will keep doing to achieve success. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. If you guys have any questions or future topics you guys want me to cover, leave it in the comment section down below or in the Discord. Just add me and let me know, and I'll make sure to cover that in future lessons. But anyways, have a great rest of the week. Hope you guys end the year strong, and I'll see you guys in the Discord. Anyways, it's been me, Zero, and I'm out. Peace.
My time back in the basement, more concerned with living dreams and these lavish vacations. 10,000 hours in my craft, keep establishing patience. I feel empowered when I rap, this ain't average creation. This my genesis, hunger come with benefits. I'm always unsatisfied and sharpen up my penmanship. Competition with myself, ego still the nemesis.